out of all of the pictures taken, I think this summarizes yesterday's trip better. Yesterday I went hiking with a couple of friends, the one on the left and the photographer on the one on the right, and honestly, fucking brutal. I can just summarize it like this. What do I mean by that? Let's start from the beginning. I wake up at 6, prepare everything, clothes, food, take the car, go take my friend. From there, we go take my other friend, and from that, we start happily our journey. We go take the car into the parking stop, the parking lot, the parking stop, call that however you want. From there, we take the ferry because the mountain we were going to was on an island. Actually, the mountain was the island, so good, in the middle of a lake. We take the ferry. Mind you, during everything that has happened so far, it was raining like hell, so the forecasts were not on our side, but everything became better once it stopped raining during this little ferry trip. We take off the ferry and we start. Before the uphill roads became much more uphill than what they already were. Everything was fine. We were laughing, taking pictures. It's the first time my friend were there, so they were amused by the scenery. And we even went around kicking small rocks, passing them to each other, and things that boys do. We went across these small villages that were scattered across the island. It was pretty good, honestly. They're pretty good. But the real challenge began once as I said before, the uphill roads became much more uphill. What do you mean by that? At a certain point, we were in one of the small villages, and we started the real climb, the real hike. And right off the start, I still don't know to date how I made it the first time. The first time I went there was with my father, and we went there by bike. To date, I still don't know how I made it by bike with that much slope. But we made it. There were some pauses, some water breaks, some normal breaks. My friend had to stop a lot of times because he was tired. What can I say? But eventually we made it to the top. Before reaching the top, me and my friend that you saw in the photo, we decided that it would have been a really good idea to, apologies, my mother was calling. Where was I? Yes, the slope, and yes, right before reaching the top, me and my friend decided to have a little challenge ourselves, the one you saw in the photo. So we just, so I started running. It was the last 100 meters, maybe even less. But I started running. He followed me, and we were, top. We were head to head, and right for a second, maybe even less, I made it before. So I honestly felt pretty good about that, and overall about the whole trip. Now, what do I mean before when I said it was brutal? Because my legs were shaking, were hurting like hell. And I wasn't the only one, even my other friends were fucking tired of, of the whole trip. But, they had fun, and that's what really matters. Now, why am I telling you this? Because there was no reason for me to share my story other than, boast myself about how I made it to the top of a mountain. And that is exactly why I'm telling you this. To give you some fucking inspiration to do something great. Because when you don't do something great, what are you doing? Honestly, you don't have to go every day hiking a fucking mountain or swimming for swim or swimming across the whole ocean. But just think about this. You're not doing something great at weekly, say, then you're wasting your potential. Maybe you have accumulated stress, maybe you're a student or you're working. Maybe you have accumulated stress during the whole week and you spend, I don't know, your Sunday indoors watching, I don't know, fucking YouTube or Netflix or whatever the fuck you want. It feels bad, doesn't it? Yeah, I know the feeling. But when I feel better? I felt better when I was fucking tired on top of a mountain instead of staying at home. Actually, I would have felt much worse if I stayed at home because I said, "Oh no, guys, the weather is bad, so we won't go." Because I told you, I would have made that trip, that hike, even if it was raining. Even if it was raining fucking fire. Okay? So, I would rather do it, even now. Why? Because it was masculine as fuck, honestly. I was with my friends. We were laughing, talking, challenging ourselves. So it wasn't something that we were like, oh yes, we are going there and maybe we'll go to the top or maybe not if we are too tired and all this gay shit. Now think about this. I thought about this trip before and after. And one question that always popped in my mind was, should I invite my female friends? Well, at first I said to myself, why? Not because, yes, some of them are busy, because yesterday was a holiday, so some of them were busy doing other things. But I thought to myself, why should I invite them? There is no reason to, because if I invited them, even one of my female friends, even the most masculine of my female friends, this would have slowed us down. What do I mean by that? During our whole climb or hike, we took dangerous paths. We went on dirt, in the mud, and honestly, we didn't stop that much. Okay, I said yes, we stopped a few times, but not that much. And we took even dangerous shortcuts, which could have honestly killed us if we missed a step or we did something wrong. And if one of my female friends, one of them, went with us, we would have taken a much safer path. Would have been much more soft. Much more soft. That's the word. Why? Because we wouldn't have taken those dangerous shortcuts. We would have just followed the road and, it doesn't matter even if we reach the top. It just matters the journey. Fuck that shit. I wanted to reach the top. We reached the top. We're done. Now, I'm not saying that my female friends are useless or they can't hike. I know they can. But let's be honest, bro. Would this trip would have been the same if I invited my female friends? Because I had a fucking great time with my female friends. Just honestly, I can't even put it to words. It was fucking good. It was good, it was masculine, it was fucking brutal, it was tiring, but in a good way. And yeah, that's all I want to say. In summary, take your friends or don't. I don't care. It's better when you do it with friends because, you wouldn't want to do something great and be alone, would you? No. Take your friends and go do something great. It could be anything. Even, I don't know, doing a 50 kilometers walk. It's not something like you say, we're not running, so it's just a walk. But it's still 50 kilometers, so you understand, do something great, do something that an average person wouldn't do. And yes, hiking a mountain would be something an average person would do. But try to make it more dangerous, more challenging for yourself. And that's all I want to say. Make sure to comment, subscribe, and blah blah blah, all this shit. And and I wonder what would have happened if the friend I was with would have been much more masculine than who I already was with. Now, don't get me wrong. My friends were masculine, okay? Because just following me, just trusting me with this whole thing is not something that a lot of people can say to have done. But what would have happened if they had higher levels of testosterone and they were much more masculine than what they already were? Honestly, maybe we would have taken 3 different paths and tried to reach the top faster than the others. Anyway, that's all. Have a good day.